everyone, I was going to go live. I had so many of you commenting how I made this cup yesterday. So I'm gonna wait a minute for people to get on and then I will show you. I'm not good at being on camera, so you have to bear with me. This was really fun and it was really easy to make. So what I have used, I go to the Dollar Tree and get these little, sorry it's hard, I got the light on, little trays for the alcohol inks. So I'm going to dip them in. I'm using Pinatas and Tim Holtz, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to just use random paint brushes. I have two different, they're alcohol ink pens. They're these little markers and they hold the alcohol ink. I have two. I have one that has blending solution, so I have it marked with a B, and then I have one that's just plain alcohol. I haven't used the blending one, I just made this one up. Yesterday I did use my homemade blending solution, which is just a mixture of 91% alcohol and glycerin. I use pure glycerin. I've seen on YouTube they use vegetable glycerin. They're the same thing. I just got this at CVS. And then some little cups, and trying to think, sorry I just got water in my eye. Ooh, that was rough. I've got a few different little cups here that we can paint, and I also used little makeup sponges. Sorry my light's like messing everything up. That I just use. And I'm going to put some gloves on. I'll just start. Is there any specific colors that you would like me to use for the flowers? I'm trying to see what I used yesterday. I used a dark green yesterday. I think I'm going to use a little bit of a lighter green today. The blending solution, I used, when I measured it for the, I used a lot, this was 1 ounce was 3 drops, 3 tiny drops of glycerin. So for 1 ounce of alcohol, 3 drops of glycerin. You don't want too much because it'll mess up it'll take forever to dry. Hey guys. Purple. Okay. I just used a combo of stuff really, of different colors. So to start off with, I'm going to put a few drops of alcohol ink of the green that I want as my base, and then I'm just going to kind of go around and place it wherever I want the green to be, and I'm going to leave blank spaces for flowers. You can go in and add more green later if you want. And it doesn't have to be super heavy. This is just kind of to give you a base. This is citrus green that I'm using now. And I just kind of tap it. No special technique to this. I'm just leaving spaces that in a kind of a circle. I don't know if you can see this. My light is kind of, I can turn this light off. There, y'all can see me better. So I'm just kind of tapping it and leaving a circle where I think I'm going to want a flower. Doesn't have to be fully saturated because we're going to go in and do more later. Alright, I fixed the light for you guys. I'm going to keep it so you can sort of see me. I'm just going to kind of leave it like that for now. And I actually think I'm going to add a few drops of the dark green in there. And I'm using a combo again of Tim Holtz ink that I got from Hobby Lobby, as well as some Pinata inks that I ordered off of Amazon. It doesn't matter how blended this is right now. This is just kind of a base. You can add more, you can blend it later. Okay, now what I'm going to do is the flowers. So we said purple flowers. Was there any other colors you guys wanted? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few drops of the colors on here because I'm going to paint. And since I'm using purple, I'm always also going to use like a magenta because you want it a two-tone. All right. So I've only put a couple drops of each one on my little tray. It's not full, it just looks it because of the alcohol inks. What I also do is I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol in a container so as I clean my brushes that I can rinse them off. And I'm using, I just have some Equate 91% alcohol. And then I also have a napkin to kind of wipe my brush off as I go. I'm just going to kind of start off with a brush, not too super big. And I'm just going to dip it in the alcohol and kind of wipe it off first. And then I'm going to, you want to go in with, I'm going to start off with my darker color. You don't need a ton on your brush, just a little bit. I don't know if you can even tell. And then I'm going to start swirling. It doesn't matter if it touches the green that you put on there. And I'm kind of leaving the center a little hollow for the lighter color that I'm going to me you're blending. Because as you go, it's going to blend. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe it off first. Then I'm going to dip it in the clear alcohol just to kind of rinse my brush off. Just like if you were painting with acrylic paint and you're dipping it in water, just kind of cleaning your brush and you wipe it off and your brush is pretty clean. So now I'm going with my pink. And yesterday I didn't have this little tray. I just used a little plastic lid that I dipped it in. And if your little drops where you put your alcohol ink starts to drop a little bit, just add a tiny bit of alcohol. We are making, I want to make sure my hand's dry, sorry. This little cup that I made yesterday, just using alcohol inks. I've also seen this done on some without a base, just on clear glass, but I haven't tried that yet, but I might try one later. So you just get a start of some circles, and then you're just going to start playing. You just start adding your lighter colors to mix. You know, just dip your brush in your color, in a different color. Let's see. I'm going to do the magenta inside the purple. And you just kind of swirl it. Get in and out, in and out. So you just kind of mix them. That's your starting point. Swirl, swirl, outer, go outer and in, go out and in. So see, go out and in. Doesn't matter how perfect anything looks yet. There is no right or wrong way to do this. You're just mixing till you get it to what you like. You can go back and forth. You can change your colors. And it's okay if it doesn't fill up that whole space. We can go in and make the green pop later. So just so you can see how it's looking so far. We're just kind of making a hot mess. Actually, I have orange. I think I want to add some orange. to give it a little touch of variation. And you can go in and mix with colors. So like I just took a dab of purple and swirled it around that one. It doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason. This is all to be fun. So we've got our flowers. Now first thing I want to do is I want to take my green dabber and I'm going to dip it in some alcohol. And I'm just going to start working on the green with my makeup sponge. Nothing special, just alcohol ink in it. And I'm just going to start dabbing my green a little bit and kind of blending that. Sorry, I'm not used to doing live, so bear with me. Trying to make sure I'm... Hey guys, thank you all for joining. And if we need more green, we can go in and add it. This is just to kind of fill in some of it and get a base. It's not perfect, it's not pretty, it's still in the works. Now here's where the fun part comes in. I use a combination of the paint brushes and I'm going to use these alcohol brushes. I got these from Hobby Lobby. It was a 3-pack. I do not remember the exact price. I think they were about $8 and I believe I used a 40% off coupon. So I've got one marked blending B for blending solution, and since this is alcohol, I just wrapped it in clear tape around the letters so I can keep a difference of which one's which. The difference in blending solution is, and I made my own instead of buying it, it's for every ounce of alcohol, you use 3 ounces of glycerin, which I got at CVS, just so it's this, you can use this in beauty stuff, you can use it for a lot of stuff. I got a bigger bottle, you can get them smaller. And so to begin with, I squeeze it just with my fingers just to kind of, and on a towel just to kind of get it going. Once it gets going, it'll be, there you go. And you want to kind of just use the tip and you just kind of play around with it in places. You don't want to do it too heavy because it's just like if you add alcohol to this, it's gonna go everywhere. And these are really easy to clean. And I'm going to kind of go in the center and really kind of clear it out because I'm going to go in and plant, and I'll wipe it off a little bit on a napkin just to kind of clean the tip back off. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm going to add yellow in the yellow in the center. Or you can use whatever color you want to give it a little pop. I'm just kind of going back and forth. And I'm going to go in with a real tiny paintbrush. And I'm going to barely dab it in the alcohol and some purple and just kind of make lines. I'm going to go back with the blending solution. It's similar to using alcohol inks, but it blends it more. I don't know if that is a good explanation. Alcohol inks will spread it and wipe it off. Blending solution will blend it more. And I'm just going back in and kind of adding this to play around. And then I'm going to go in with my alcohol one. And back with my brush. Just kind of keep playing. This is just the beginning of it, so you see you get your texture in there. And you just keep playing around with them. And see, I just did just alcohol. And I just I'm making tiny little swoops. Oh, you're welcome. I see all you lovely ladies and all your talents, and you amaze me. You all are my cup inspirations. I love this group. My husband picks on me all the time because I'm on my phone so much, because I'm constantly trying to learn new stuff from everyone. Let's see. So I'm going to show you this flower before, so you see it really good. And then I'm going to go in. Just right now, all I'm using is the alcohol brush. I'm going to kind of make my circle for where my center is going to be. And then I'm just kind of adding little swoops, swooshes, I don't know what you want to call it. If you want your flowers bigger, you can make them bigger. I'm going to go in and kind of make them look like petals. I just start off with the circle, just to kind of get my basic shape down. And I kind of start making swirls as I'm working on it to kind of give it more of a petal look too. So, and here's a close-up. And that's really all you're going to do, is you're just going to keep going, and you're going to add and play around until you get it where you like it. And I kind of covered some of my flowers a little bit, and then spritzed my blending solution from a good distance, just to give it those few little specks. And then any flowers that had the specks that I didn't like, I just go back in with my brush, any of my brushes, and make them. And you could probably use this technique in so many different ways. See, I took that purple one and I just kind of went out a little bit and gave it a little bit more of a flower look. So again, there's that one. And right now all I'm using is the pure alcohol. And I just start swiping. Swooshing, swiping. If you want to adjust your size, if your brush is too big, you can, like I said, use the paint brushes. You just kind of start using this to give it some petals. And then you can also go back and forth with your different colors too. If you get a spot that's kind of light or you need some texture, you can use a different color. These are watercolor brushes that I got from Hobby Lobby, and you can probably order them online, but I like to save money, so I went in the store and I used a 40% off coupon. They may have them at Michael's too, I'm sure, because I believe they do carry Tim Holtz inks. You can be as heavy or as light with the brush as you want. It's just going to depend on how you want it to look. If you want to get it lighter so this is how it's coming so far. So you're getting the texture. Yeah, they're great for Mother's Day. I want the center to be a little lighter, so I'm going to kind of do a little heavy with the brush to give it some texture. And if you get too much of a color and you want to switch, you just take your brush and you just kind of squeeze it and wipe it off on a paper towel. Or you can take your brush and dip it in the pure alcohol and kind of remove it. But you want to dab, when you're using your paint brushes, you want to make sure you kind of wipe it off or barely tap it on the paper towel, because if you have it fully saturated and you touch your cup, it's going to run. Which you can, go in and touch it up, but just a little tip for you. Once I get the swirls made, then I'm going to go in with the yellow and make the drop, a tiny drop. You have to really be careful with those. You could probably use the same thing with the paintbrush to apply it. And then you want to go in and swirl it and mix it with your colors as well. There's really no certain technique that you have to use as far as to have it. I mean, the more you blend it, the more you work it, the more you get. So see, you're just getting that. Again, the blending solution is some that I made. It's just in a spray bottle. It's 1 ounce of alcohol to 3 drops of pure glycerin or vegetable glycerin. They're the same thing. It's just based on where they come from, how pure it is, or how natural it is. But I got this at CVS. And I have one of these with blending solution. You're fine. You're fine. I don't mind questions. And then I have one with plain alcohol, and I've just labeled them A or B so I know alcohol or blending, and then I put tape around it so the alcohol won't wipe off the magic marker. Yes, these will go on the turner. Once they're done, they're just like if you do a wood grain or any other alcohol inks method. You're going to let it dry, then you want to spray it clear with triple thick clear glaze. And then after that dries, you'll put it on your turner with epoxy just like normal. Turn so you can see. Thank you. I love it too. Yesterday was my first time. I saw some similar ones made. And so I just started playing around yesterday. That was my first one. Never had made one before. I don't think I like the blending solution for the coloring as well as I do the alcohol, because I feel like the alcohol really gives me my texture. I used it for the spray to make my droplets, but the alcohol kind of pulls it away more so you get that texture easier. And if you have one if it's too dark and you want to kind of lighten it, you know, you just keep playing around and swirling it till you get it what you want. You can make it in circles, you can make them have leaves, whatever kind of color combos you want. And I'm also going to use the same brush to dip into this little palette that I dropped my alcohol inks on to pick up some colors to kind of go in. You want to go back in and give it your texture. Yes, the alcohol in here is also to shape it out and to give it texture as well. You can use, like I said, you can use the same thing, which is what I was doing yesterday with the paintbrush. Dip it in alcohol and then dip it in your color and kind of swirl it around. And you know, you just take it and you apply it as well. So you can use different paintbrushes. You can, if you don't have the alcohol pens, you don't have to. You can use the same thing. You can use a paintbrush with just pure alcohol on it to do the same thing. And the different size brushes will give you different techniques and different sizes. You just don't want it too heavy with alcohol so that it doesn't just run unless you are trying to get that. So I just tap it off. So as you can see, and I still got to go in and out the yellow. Sorry, I'm country. On your getting your swirls. And these come in a 6-pack for $1 at the Dollar Tree. I have a Dollar Tree right here by my house, so it's convenient. I'm going to try it this time. Yesterday I dropped the yellow on, and this time I'm going to dip it. Dip my paintbrush in the yellow and go in the middle and then kind of swirl it around. See, I added the yellow and I swirled it out and you get that texture. And if it's too much, you go back in with your alcohol. I just have these spray painted white, flat white paint and primer mix. I think it's I used Rust-Oleum. I use Rust-Oleum or Krylon, whatever I have on hand. And I used a darker green yesterday. I'm using a lighter green, but we can go in and make it darker. So that's what I did. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to add my yellow in the middle. I'm also kind of going out a little bit with it. No, the green, I used makeup sponges. I put a few drops on, and then I put it on in places, and I left it kind of bare where I was going to put flowers. But I'm not finished with the green. I will do more with the green after I get my flowers. I will go in and add some more. And you can, like I said, you can leave them in circles. You can kind of make them have a little bit of petals. You just kind of work it out as you go. And by having 2 or 3 different colors as you go back and forth, you work on the outside that's a darker color and you come in a little bit. It also gives you your texture. And then when you're using the yellow or whatever color in the middle, it does the same thing. It gives you that blended texture. Yay! I've never tried these with alcohol inks before, like this, and I did it yesterday, and all of you just went crazy over it, and it just made me feel so good that I did something that I was able to learn after watching so many of you do so many different great things. Like I said, you just kind of keep going back and forth with your colors till you get it where you like it. And I get OCD with stuff, so I'm looking at something sometimes and I'm like, I don't know, what do you think? And that's the way I felt yesterday. I thought it was pretty, but I thought it was kind of maybe a hit or miss, so that's why I posted it yesterday. And within 10 seconds, I'm putting it on Snapchat. Somebody's like, oh my God, I have to have this. And that just, and then all of your great comments last night was wonderful. So. If you have one that's too light or too dark, or you want to change it up, you just keep adding your alcohol inks. And you can just use this or make a paintbrush or whatever, and you go in and add. I've been working on the tack it method, but I still find that I'm not exactly a fan of glitter cups because I kind of like the way it looks even with tack it before you rub it down. And there's so many cups I have saved that I want to try that it's really on my to-do list. But I have only been doing cups for a couple years, so I'm still learning. I bought Silly Winks about a year ago and I have not tried one yet. I keep buying supplies but have yet to make it. So what is everyone's favorite cup that they have made so far? What style? Like alcohol inks, wood grain, ombre. I see. I did my first dragon with 3D and that took me like a month to make. It was so overwhelming. But I also work third shift, 12-hour shifts as a caregiver on top of being a cosmetologist. So I stay pretty busy. But every spare chance I have, I'm in one of my cup groups, watching you lovely ladies. I just feel like this purple needs a little something. But again, I get OCD, so it could be just me. Silly Winks is you get it from Hobby Lobby. I don't know where else exactly. You can order it online, I'm sure. Where the foam stuff is, and it's this paper, and it's two-sided sticker paper that you can sit in your, I guess, your Cricut or your Silhouette. I have a Silhouette. And you cut it, you're able to cut out like your shape and your design. So like, let's say you wanted to do, I'm just throwing out a minion. You cut out the minion shape and then you peel it apart piece by piece, just like you do the double-sided tape, and you can color each one. But I haven't done that yet. I want to. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with a few drops of green and my brush. I'm going to use a regular brush first and just kind of swirl it, because I'm going to use some light and some dark on this one. I have not done the Milky Ways, and I have not done the Galaxy. Not the Galaxy, the Northern Lights. I want to do them. They look really awesome. Now my cup that I've been dipping in, it's kind of dark, so I'm going to put a little bit of plain, well, no, I'm going to use my little alcohol brush. I'm going to kind of just make big swirls. You want to kind of keep them big because you don't want them like to look like, and if they get mixed in with your flowers, you just kind of wipe them off a little bit. Like I said, you just squeeze this a little bit and you swipe it back and forth and the tip cleans. I love wood grain, but I am kind of a hit or miss with them. I can't get the light wood grain, but I think I need some new inks. My birthday is next month, and I have definitely requested Hobby Lobby gift cards or Amazon gift cards. I get intimidated and I procrastinate making certain things because the talent in this group just amazes me. And if you get a spot that gets too light, you can just, you know, dip this in the green alcohol and kind of add it back on and keep swirling and mixing. Thank you. My son turned 39 this year, and it was the same day that our state here in South Carolina put a no going out to bars and restaurants. So, and I worked, and he worked 12-hour shifts, so I couldn't even take him out for his birthday. So I was supposed to go to New Orleans for my birthday this year, but it has been canceled. The Airbnb host canceled it because he's elderly. This coronavirus has been no joke. So as you can see, I'm just kind of swirling it on. And then I'm going to go back in with my makeup brush pad, and I'm going to start off with a light green and just mix some drops. And then I'm going to kind of dab it in places on top. I don't like the light green. I think I'm going to go with the dark green. And just kind of tap it on top of that in places. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. And just kind of going back and forth. No, I'm 39. My son is 21. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. My son turned 21, and I couldn't even take him out for his birthday. And you just kind of keep tapping, and then I'm going to go back in a little bit with the alcohol brush. And you just kind of fill up any places that needs it, get, you know, around your flowers. And I'll kind of let it get in places and kind of go heavy with it and blow it a little bit. And if it gets in my flowers, I just kind of swirl the flowers a little bit. Oh, that one went a bit much. I'll just go in and swirl. Now we'll tap that with some more green. So alcohol brushes can put out a lot if you aren't careful. And I'm just lightly blowing it just to kind of move the ink around a little bit. I'm using these little trays that I got, craft trays. Yesterday, I have a lid here somewhere. I literally used this little plastic cap and was dropping them on and doing it, but there's no exact way you have to do them. If you drop them directly on, being that it's an object that rolls, it's going to run. So I put the drops in here, and you can use either makeup brushes, or I'm using these little alcohol brushes to go in and make your flowers. You're welcome. And you just really to your likings. And another thing that I did is I have this, well, I'm going to show you how it looks so far. Yeah, a few that spot I got to touch up still. Now I'm going to show you this. It's really hard to see. This paintbrush barely has anything on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip this, I'm going to make a tiny drop of black. Just like one drop, because you're barely going to use any. I have a few spots I got to touch up, but that's no big deal. And I'm going to dip this tiny paintbrush And you're just going to make tiny little dots in the center of your flower. You could probably use a toothpick or anything that's got like a little tiny point to it. You can add as many or as little as you want for your dots. I wish I was still in my 20s. I wish I knew what I knew now, and it was... And I got a silhouette from one of my hair clients about, gosh, 3.5 years ago. And I had already been in this group, and there's in another group, and been following everybody and was excited to start making things. And it's just progressed from there. You're welcome. I learned so much from all of you, so it's the least I can do. Because if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know how I would know what I'm doing. And so that gives you your little dots. And that one, the flower, I gotta fix. My ink ran. And that's the thing about alcohol inks. They're very forgiving. It's like painting with watercolor. You can keep, adjusting it. You can fix it. You can move it. The alcohol kind of will wipe it away so you can recreate things. And you just do it to where you like it. I really want to try one that I saw where they just painted on a clear glass, which I have one here, to do the poppy seed. This was nervous doing this one, this tutorial. Thank you for enjoying my video. And if you have a spot when you're blending that gets too blended or smeared out, you just go back in with and paint a little more with or without the alcohol. Is anybody ready for summer vacation at all? Are we able to go anywhere for summer? I really want to do something. Our beaches are starting to open up, but I'm kind of nervous because of my job too. I take care of a 94-year-old lady, so I gotta be careful with exposure for her. So I haven't really done anything. This one, yes. It's an alcohol ink, so I dripped the alcohol on these little trays. You can use paint brushes. You can also dip the paint brushes in alcohol. You don't have to have this brush. I saw a video, which I have another one I have yet to do, where they took vinyl decal and they put it on a white cup, and then they colored it in with this, like a paint by, like a coloring page. And I thought that was really cool. So I've got these, and I had not really used them, and I saw a flower the other day, and I was like, I wonder, let me try this. I feel like the alcohol one did better than the blending brush for that, but. And then this is the blending solution. And again, I'm going to kind of hold it far away. I have my fan on. So that kind of made these little spots all over it, which I'm going to go in and touch up in places. And just keep playing around with it. And then I'm going to go back and forth with the makeup brush, so that I'm going to kind of dab in places. To tone it down a little bit. You could also take, and before you do these, if you wanted to cut out like some leaves, and then with vinyl and put them on, and then paint, and then remove the leaves, that would be cool too. I haven't done that yet. I worked last night third shift, so I hadn't had a chance to actually plan for all that yet. And then I'm going to dip my purple. And here I'm just using my paintbrush, no alcohol on it, just the brush, just to kind of go in and give it concentrated little swooshes in places. Like I said, you just kind of go back and forth till you get it to where you like it. And that gives it the color and the texture between the alcohol inks and the solid alcohol ink. And there is no it has to be this way or that way. You just do it to what you like. And to clean it off, you just dip it in some alcohol, wipe it off a lot, get it kind of dry. Go to your other color. So you can just kind of, and you just keep playing until you have it like you like. I want to try I'm going to try this one. Let me get a football. I saw someone yesterday, they just painted this. Clear. That's what I want to do. And then they painted little poppy seeds on it. That'd be interesting just to see. Never tried this. I just saw it and I was like, And then once your cup is finished, how you like it, and you dry it, you want to spray it with triple thick or a clear. And then once that's dry, then you just put epoxy on it like normal. Try watermelon for this. Did I answer everybody's question? I think. Can't see this. Put that on there. Take my green. You're welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. So you just really can do this any way that you'd want. It's on the brush. Just paint your flowers. There's no, it has to be this way or it has to be that way. Alcohol inks are so forgiving. You can make such pretty things with them. And you can keep going back over to give it your textures and your layers. But it's just really, and then I can do the same thing. This, just keep playing, give it texture. But just playing around. Yeah. Let me... This one's on a clear glass, so it's a little harder to see. Sorry. I've got a paper towel in there so you can kind of see it. And you just keep playing around. Alcohol inks are fun. And you can, different colors, give it different textures and layers. I've never painted with alcohol inks and watercolor before, so I did not know what this was going to be. I started Googling last night, or YouTubing, alcohol inks, and came across a video that did it on a clear glass, and I thought it was pretty cool. And they also did it like on a coffee mug that was just already white without spray painting it or anything, so I thought that'd be fun. I don't know, do poppies have leaves? I'm not sure. And the thing with these trays is if they dry up, you're using alcohol, so you can just go in and add alcohol later and get your color that you want to start back over again without having to wash them out and waste it. Now see, I'm going in and adding a drop of yellow in the middle. Nope, these just glasses. All I did was wash them beforehand. Just to make sure that they were kind of free of any inks and stuff, oils. I'm using a super tiny brush. I'm going to go in and add a few. Specks of black. Just a tiny bit bigger. So. I'm just randomly painting back and forth. See, I just added a tiny drop and they just kind of smeared, went their own way. You go in and add your black. And then dab your yellow. There's no real thing. And then I'm going to use a different color, blue. And I'm almost done, guys. I'm just going to kind of go in and do some more blue. With my thicker paintbrush. Just be careful with your that you don't have it too wet to smear your flowers. Just kind of let it run. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of playing. I've never done this. I just saw a video on YouTube and was like, hey, send some on and we're done with the other one. And you can just kind of do whatever with it. I'm bad with flowers. I've never done them before. This is my second time. Yesterday was my first time. So, just to recap earlier, this is what we just remade a little bit ago. And you can just kind of play around with it till you like it. Just using alcohol inks. So, that's all. I mean, I don't know if I've left out any questions for any of you. I'll go over one more time for anybody that just joined. I just used a mix of Tim Holtz and Pinata alcohol inks. I use these little trays that I got from the Dollar Tree to put them in. I used a combination of different size paintbrushes. I used my homemade blending solution, which was 1 ounce of alcohol. I used 91%. You can use 95, 99, whatever you have. To 3 drops, excuse me, of glycerin. I used pure glycerin. You could also use vegetable glycerin. Got this at CVS. And I used makeup sponges and alcohol. That's all I used, and I just went back and forth with a combination of the two. Here is my alcohol ink brush that I used, paintbrush, and it's just full of alcohol, and it's got a little brush tip, and you can kind of gently squeeze it and wipe off to clean your tip off when you're finished. And you go in and give your texture to see if the brush is clean. And they have these little lids, and you just set them aside till you're done. So thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is my first time doing a live, so well, I hope I covered everything for you. And thank you, and have a good one. Bye.